Well, this is Soke, your birthday episode. So I wanted to get something on that. So I used my Mac, a little bit of AI to kind of make it look like an oil painting. Took that one picture, put it in a dojo setting, and then I'm going to have it printed up at like Walgreens on a canvas and send it to you. So
Man, you're killing me.
yeah, and I didn't even have to kick you to do it.
I know.
Yeah. So that was part of my plan. So I have actually a plan on this episode. I wanted to kind of throw to you ad hoc, kind of surprise you. So it's your birthday episode. So I have a few.
Well, your birthday's day after tomorrow.
Well, it is, but
We could just say the birthday
the
episode
birthday episode.
for both of us.
Yeah, but you outrank me. So I thought,
Doesn't
well,
matter.
I had some. If you'd like to tell your story, then I had some questions that I think maybe the audience would like to know, and they're just off the wall questions, but kind of put you on the spot and kind of have a fun episode with that. But if you wouldn't mind, Soki, starting off with how you got started in the martial arts and your journey till now.
So you're recording now.
Oh yeah, yeah.
You, surprise,
I planned
surprise.
this all out. This was going to be yesterday, but since we've been busy, we got it today. I've been waiting to do this. Yeah, I've had this done and got this all planned out for your birthday. So,
Oh my God. Well, then next week we're going to do one on you. For what? Because what's good for one is good for the other.
but I'm in
Yeah.
cognitive
Yeah.
decline. I don't know if I can remember anything. You hit me too
Yeah.
much.
Well, I'm still going to put you on the spot. Careful what you do to me today because I'm going to do it back to you next week.
Oh, good. Well, if you don't mind, though, I think the audience probably like to hear your journey real quick and go to your journey before I go to my questions.
Let me silence this cell phone real quick before it's already going off.
Oh yeah, mine had went off. My brother and a couple friends and were just contacting me. I was like, "Hey, I'm busy, guys."
All right. Good to go,
So
I think.
when did you start uh, and just kind of like your career because you've been in the martial arts because you've taken more than just karate. You've been in the martial arts for what 57, 58 years,
50,
something.
yeah, 57, I think.
57 years. Yeah. So I knew
Yeah.
it was in that area. So
Yeah.
if you'd like to give us a truncated view of that, and then I'll shoot you with my questions that I've written down.
Well, when I first started, it wasn't serious. And it wasn't serious on for a couple reasons. My mom and dad couldn't really afford it. And it was as a kid. I wanted to do it. I wanted to do it really bad. But, growing up on a farm in Western North Carolina, and my mom and dad both working on a farm, my grandparents on my father's side pretty much raised us, raised my sister and I. While my mom and dad, and we worked the farm, but my mom and dad also, at one point, both of them had like two jobs that they were working, but at the same time, just trying to make ends meet.
Mm-hmm.
So it kind of started from there, and then it got to the point where, they really couldn't afford to pay for classes, and so I was in and out of martial arts training for a few years. That's when I first started. I would love to say that it was consistent, that I was going all the time, but that just wasn't the case. Go when you can, and then it got to the point where I could. Well, I wouldn't say where I could go because my mom and dad would always let me go as long as you got things done. It was just more or less working for other people, working because everybody had hay fields, everybody had tobacco fields, everybody raised cattle and raised gardens and stuff like that. So working for neighbors and stuff, that along with cutting grass, mowing lawns and stuff like that, just trying to make my own money and try and get you know, kind of I guess pay my own way to do
Mm-hmm.
it. And it was in and out like that for a number of years. And then, of course, in school, you get wrapped up playing ball in elementary school and stuff, and that didn't cost very well. Actually, it hardly cost anything, because school, bought all the uniforms and stuff. We had to have our own cleats and our glove. If you played baseball or something like that. Mouthpiece if you played football and so forth. So, um, you know, and my dad was a boxer, so um, I took a lot of boxing from him and stuff. So there was a lot of mixture of boxing, working on the farm, going to martial arts classes when you can, playing sports, until on up in my older juvenile years, I guess you could say. And when my mom and dad got to the point where they could afford to send me to class,
Hmm.
or help me pay for classes, and then it became more serious for me because obviously I was going to class more often,
Yeah.
and that's when it really started rolling, I guess.
Yeah. It's funny you say that. I think when we start paying ourselves is when we take it more serious. It's when it's coming out
Yeah,
of our own pocket.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
Even as teens. Yeah. Okay. I'm
Oh
paying for
yeah,
this. I better show up. Mom and dad are not taking care of it. Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Now you have studied many different martial arts. A lot of people may not know. You've even studied Bruce Lee's Jeet Kune Do
Hmm.
when you were younger. Ishinru, Shotokan, uh, out of and many
Rude.
others.
Yeah.
Taekwondo. You're right. Yeah. You've studied a lot. Do you have a particular? I'm trying. I mean, it's hard to pick a favorite because picking a favorite is like picking a favorite color. Well, it depends on the vehicle. You
Right.
know, some cars I like
Yeah.
blue, others I like red. You know, so it's kind
Right.
of like that.
Yeah.
But did you have anything that just was when you were initially training as a kid or a teen that just spoke to you more than the others? Was there anyone that just jumped out and said, "Boy, this is really me"?
Um, I don't think it had so much to do with the style that it did than it did um, the school itself,
Okay.
because I really, really liked fighting. You know, that was kind of like right up my street, and I wasn't into kata at that time. I really didn't get into kata till later on in my years. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about my adult years because, I'd rather fight. Kind of like what your story is.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
um, so I don't think it had as much to do with the style as it did either the school or the instructor, whichever one fought the most.
Right.
That's what I really got into
Yeah.
at that time. Now, I like the Japanese styles better,
Right.
you know,
Yeah.
um, and I have probably for the last 30 to 40 years. But when I first started out, it was like, hey, whoever fights the most, that's where I want to be.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, I can relate. More question for you, but just to follow up, I think Tunstall really spoke to me because of the kicking, and
Mm-hmm.
I picked up the
Yeah.
kicking pretty easily. However, I always wanted something more from the fighting. So when I took Ishinru, we fought more there than we did in Tunstall,
Right.
but it wasn't contact. It was light contact. You know what I mean? It was
Oh,
not really
really?
seriously hard. I mean, we fought,
Yeah.
but nothing like what you and I did. I think that's why
Yeah.
when I started training under you, it spoke to me so much because it's like, oh, finally, you know,
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
getting to do some fighting, and
Yeah.
so yeah, and I can understand that. Okay, so I got
The
some.
Ishner class that I took from Sensei David Ray, man, they fought all the time. I mean, some hard fighting too.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, that was probably one of that and some of my Shutaru classes was probably the hardest, and Jeet Kune Do was the three hardest fighting places that I ever studied at. The Taekwondo, whenever I studied Taekwondo, we really did not fight a whole lot.
right, yeah, yeah. It's
And
kind
it
of
was American. It was American Taekwondo. It
right,
wasn't like this Olympic stuff now, where you drop your hands. Only thing you're doing is kicking. I mean, it was
right.
getting in there and getting down with it, kind of like what Joe Smith does.
Yeah, yeah. That's the
Yeah,
'70s. A lot of people don't realize the '70s, man. Taekwondo was tough, and
yeah,
that's
it
why
was. It wasn't like it is
it wasn't like
today.
it is today. No, there were some tough
Yeah.
fighters coming out of there, and I remember
Oh yeah.
I have a really good friend who got his black belt in under Tanavanik in Taekwondo, and it was they were tough. And Ishmael, we sparred a lot, and we made light contact, but we did
Hmm.
nothing like you and I did.
Oh
And
yeah.
and
Yeah.
that was my dream was to get there, you know.
Mhm.
And so that's what really spoke to me. We did nothing like that. Matter of fact, Brad's Tanavanik's course sparred harder than we did.
Hmm.
And he went there. Matter of fact, he came to the issuer school I was going, but went there because it didn't quite speak to him the way it did. But it spoke to me in many other ways. And
Right.
I was like, boy, something's lacking. And I know what it was when you and I got together because, well, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to be
Right.
a tough competitor, not just
Yeah.
a quick one, not one that goes, oh, I could have got you, but one that goes, I didn't get you.
Yeah, I
yeah,
did
yeah,
get you.
yeah, I did
Yeah.
get you. Yeah, you know
Hey,
I
did you
was here.
feel that?
yeah, did you? You know I was here, don't you? Yeah,
Oh
that type
yeah.
of thing. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. So I've just got some fun questions since it's your birthday about martial arts, and
Hey,
now
let's don't forget your birthday is day after tomorrow. Mine is past.
I
It
know
was yesterday.
it was just
Yours is day after tomorrow.
right, but I've been saving this for you. So if you want to hit me next week, I'm hoping you'll forget by then.
Oh
But
no, I'm not going to forget. Trust me. Sometimes I got Herferth kicking syndrome, but if I have to, I'll take notes. I'm not going to forget. Next week it's on.
yeah. Now some rules because we can't cheat. So you can't use any of students in your own school or people you promoted to black belt. So like Shihan and I and our black belts are completely out of the answer that you can't give us an answer. That is both to save you for someone not to go like, well, what about me? And to save us.
Okay.
So my first one that I got, let me read it, is yeah, here it is. So because I wrote some of these down in this book I had that had questions. So who do you think is probably been overall the most important female martial artist overall for martial arts in the United States?
To promote it, probably Cynthia Rothrock.
Okay.
But I think the heart, of course, she was all into forms and weapons and
Right.
stuff like that. But the best fighter, I think, was Kathy Long.
Kathy Long. Yeah. Yeah. I can see both of those answers. Yeah, easily.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, Christine Rodriguez was good too.
Yeah,
But
she was also good in the forums, but
yeah.
yeah, it was how I looked at it is Cynthia Rothrock out of hard work, by the way. I mean, she worked.
Oh
You
yeah.
read about what she did, or you talked to her, and you found out how she got to where she was.
Hmm.
But she was the early darling in the late
Oh yeah.
'70s, early '80s in the martial art magazines like Black Belt, Karate
Hmm.
Illustrated, those magazines, and that helped
Right.
propel her. And then she went to Hong Kong, and you hear about how brutal the filming was over there for them.
Hmm.
You just like, my word, this is nuts. And I agree. The Kathy Long, there's some other good fighters back then, but Kathy Long took it to another level.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Kathy Long was tough. She was a badass.
she was. Yeah, she
And
was.
I think she probably still could put a hurting on you if she wanted
Yeah,
to.
I bet she could. Yeah, I bet.
I mean, she's got some age on her, but
Yeah.
man, I've seen. Have you ever been to one of her seminars?
No, I have not. No, I've
Yeah,
not. Yeah.
I've attended probably 3 or 4 of her seminars. She teaches every year at Ellen Goldberg's thing in New Jersey, Atlantic City,
Okay.
New Jersey. And I'm telling you, she's a machine.
Is she?
She
Yeah.
can still go. Yeah,
Yeah.
she can still go.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. I bet. I've not. I was fortunate enough to meet her once. She wouldn't remember me from Adam,
yeah,
I think, but I was fortunate enough to meet her once. And but it was but it wasn't like a talk. It was more like a handshake. It wasn't a seminar. It was
yeah,
at a martial art event.
yeah.
That's all it was. Yeah. So I don't even like when people ask me if do I know somebody. I don't consider that knowing them. Knowing them is
No, no.
participating in seminars and talking to them, conversing,
Right.
having dinner, shaking a
Yeah,
hand, and going down the line to the next celebrity is not knowing. So
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
That's needed.
That's right. That's meeting. Yeah. But yeah, I think both of those are probably spot on.
Hmm.
Yeah. So out of that, out of the martial art world for as guys, who would you think was the most important person for martial arts in America? It can be any from Bruce Lee to Chuck Norris to Bill Wallace or anybody in between. Who would you rank up there as number one for American martial arts? And I'll say this, I'll take us off the hook because you know Bill Wallace really well, so I'm gonna take him
Hmm.
off because you know
Yeah,
him very very well,
yeah.
and so and I know him a little bit, not as well as you do, so we'll take him off, and off that. So Bill Wallace, sorry Bill, you're off the list, and that's my fault.
I think Chuck Norris has done more for martial arts in America
Right.
than anybody else has,
Okay.
hands down.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. He's done a lot.
and a lot of that is because he's done it longer than anyone else. And I think had Bruce Lee not died,
Right.
it may be Bruce Lee,
Right.
because he was more popular than Chuck, in my opinion. Bruce Lee was more popular than Chuck Norris
Right.
during that time frame when both of them were alive.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. He
But
was.
then
Yeah.
Bruce Lee passed away, and it was kind of like the torch was, in my opinion, the torch was as far as like popularizing martial arts. I think that the torch was kind of handed to Chuck Norris, whether he wanted it or not. But he did. He
He
took
did.
it and he ran with it.
Ran
He's
with
done
it.
a
Yeah.
lot for martial arts.
Yeah. Oh, he did. Yeah. He did so much for it. I mean,
Yeah.
so much so he had memes. I mean,
Yeah. Exactly.
yeah, for 20
Yeah.
years, he had memes, jokes about his prowess.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. Yeah. Yeah. You just look at that. Okay. Here you go. What is your top ranked martial arts movie? Now, what I mean by that is a movie that is a martial arts movie, not a movie with martial arts. That comes next. But a martial art movies. One that is just martial art type of movie. What is your favorite? It could be a guilty pleasure. You're not saying it's the best. Just what's your
Oh
favorite?
my gosh.
Which one do you just
Not
happen
to
to
say
go
what?
to? Yeah, just which one's your favorite? Which one you like? You can watch over and over again and just enjoy it.
Probably Bloodsport.
Really? And you don't like
Yeah,
Jean Claude?
no,
Wow.
I don't. I do not like him at all. But Bloodsport had so many good martial artists in there,
Yeah.
and they had some. In the time that it came out, there were some really good fight scenes in there.
Yeah. Yeah.
The acting sucked, but the fight scenes were pretty good.
It's funny you say that. I remember when I saw it with Scotty Ramos. He was a bodybuilder. He was a
Yeah.
cop, but he's also a bodybuilder. And I was showing him martial art stuff occasionally. It wasn't like
Yeah.
teaching. It's just I'd show him stuff. And we went together on our day off. He was a buck sergeant. I think I was a senior airman when it came out. I think it was a senior. Might have been anyone see, but I was, and so he picked me up at my place and we went in his Camaro and went and saw it. Yeah, it's kind of neat. He said, I'll be honest, brother. I know a lot about you. That one surprises me because you're not a Jean-Claude fan.
No, I
No.
don't like him at all.
Yeah, yeah.
And I don't like the whole Frank Dukes thing.
Do think right, but
But they had a lot of good martial artists in that movie.
yeah, they did.
And they had some really good fight scenes.
And there's some really good fight, and even his were good in it. So yeah, and that's just being objective. Hey, if it's good, it's good.
Yeah.
If you like, or if you like it, you like it.
Yeah.
Now, what would you say is your favorite movie that happens to have martial arts in it? You know what I mean? It's not really a martial movie, but it's got some in it, and you go like, I
Right.
like watching that movie because it's got martial arts in it. Yeah.
It's right on the tip of my tongue. I think it was the very first movie that Steven Seagal put out.
Oh, Above the
when he was-
Law?
Above the Law, when he was a CIA agent.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. Above the Law.
Yeah.
That was, yeah.
Yeah. Some
That's
people.
my go-to.
Yeah. Yeah. Some people say that's a martial art movie, but it really isn't. It's a CIA spy thriller.
Yeah.
Drug movie, right? Yeah. And he just happens to have martial arts are in it. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
And he's probably got more martial arts in that movie than any other movie that he did.
Yeah, yeah. It's funny because he's got a couple that he's got, like Mark for Death. He's got some with the Jamaican guys,
Yeah.
but and he's got a couple
And
others.
the one where he was a Navy cook on
Navy cook,
train.
But most
I
of his
can't
movies
remember.
don't really have a lot of it. They just got
No.
parts of it here and
Yeah.
there, and that's about it. Yeah,
But I do like Above the Law.
yeah. I think plot wise, Above the Law, which is his first movie, is his best plot movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, and his best. It looks like. Well, it was also. I'll say this. It was directed by a guy named Andrew Davis, who also did Under Siege, and he did The Fugitive with Harrison Ford. So he was a good director. And he also did. He also did Code of Silence with Chuck Norris, which was probably Chuck Norris's
Did you really?
best movie. Yeah, was Andrew Davis.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So they got a guy. When you get a guy who's a good director, he can make average actors look pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a good choice. I was kind of curious on that one.
I think if you had not taken Bill Wallace out, probably my favorite martial arts movie, if you had not taken him out besides Bloodsport, would have been the one that him and Chuck Norris played in.
Yeah.
Force
Force
of
of
One.
One. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I really like that, and I like the Octagon too.
Yeah. Force of One's one of my guilty pleasures. Yeah. So next week, if you remember to
But
do
you
this,
took Bill Wallace out, so
I
that
did.
wasn't fair.
Well, I did that because you know him so well.
Yeah.
And I'll be honest, if I was doing this, it wouldn't be right for me to have him because he's been one of my, as you know, he's been one of my heroes.
Yeah.
I grew up Bruce Lee, and after that was Bill Wallace, and I'm only 13 years old, 1977, and I'm like, hey, that's the way I do it. Of course, I was
Yeah.
imitating him. I didn't know, but I was a fan ever since. And then when you meet him, he's a ham, and he makes
Oh
friends.
yeah.
He makes friends
Yeah.
with everybody. I will say
Oh yeah.
this just as a quick side, and I'll get back to my next question. No, and this is a compliment to him. If you ever see him again, oh, I know you'll see him again. Tell him, and because
Actually, I'm on the scene about 3 weeks.
okay, yeah, because I only see him like once every couple years. You see him, several times a year. Uh, I have never seen another martial artist who does a seminar or just to imitate. He's not a seminar. He's just coming there to promote
Mhm.
something or be there because you've asked him, and
Yeah.
he will work the room and give everybody their due time.
Yes.
Everybody,
Yep.
even non karate participants. So if people were just
You know why
helping,
he does that, right?
well, I think he likes. Well, I don't know for sure. My guess is
He
if it's
likes
a
the
he
attention.
likes
You're
the
right.
attention,
You
right,
were on
right,
point.
right, and he's a flirt
Right.
with the girls,
Well, and that, yeah,
It-
that's another big one.
but I think also this is just me. I don't know his heart, but I think he really because I've seen him do it with kids. I think he really likes to make sure people have a good time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. And you're probably right there too. But he told me one time that, and it was similar. I think somebody told you this. It may have been Don Wilson that told you this. He said that he will always be loyal to, and this is Bill telling me this. He said, I'll always be loyal to my fans because if it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be where I'm at today.
yes, yeah, yeah. Don had told me that at dinner back in 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and because I've seen him with kids, Bill Wallace these things,
Oh, yeah.
and
But, and he likes kids.
yeah, oh yeah,
I've got pictures with him with my some of my grandkids, and I mean, he's just cutting up with them and acting a fool with them and stuff like
yeah,
that. And that he genuinely does like kids.
right.
Um, but
It's a sense of
I,
loyalty. Yeah,
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 but again, I think he does a lot of it because it's the parents that is going to buy the movies or
right.
take the kids to the seminars. It's the parents that's spending the money, so he feels like he owes
Yeah.
that to people.
Yeah, yeah,
You know,
yeah, and you can tell that. I mean, and that means a lot though, because Don Wilson was that way, Chuck Norris that way. These
yeah,
people made me what I am, and they're thankful because not all famous
right,
athletes or movie stars are like
yeah,
that. They feel entitled,
yeah,
and regardless of what one thinks of some of these martial artists, I can say it for Chuck, Bill, and Don Wilson. They don't feel entitled. That
mhm,
they're very much these people made me this way. I owe
yeah,
them, and that's a lot.
yeah.
Yeah,
And speaking of Jean Claude Van Damme, and he may be different, but I feel that he's an entitled sob.
yeah, yeah.
I just don't care
I
much
don't know.
for
I've
him.
heard stories. I don't know for sure.
I don't know for sure either. That's
Yeah,
just my perception.
yeah. I have heard though, if for people who have worked with him, he's very kind to the people who he's worked with.
Mhm.
That have worked with. But I don't how that translates to the martial art world. I don't
Yeah,
I don't know.
or the
Or
regular
the regular world, right?
Joe out on the
Cause,
street.
yeah, because you see Bill Wallace, and he's like that to the regular person on the street.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, he'd be a total stranger.
yeah,
You take him to Burger King, and he's gonna make a friend.
easy to make a friend, right? Yeah, and
Yeah,
it's a great gift to have. Okay,
yeah.
so for my next one, out of the martial art movies, again back to the martial art genre, what is your favorite fight scene? If you had one fight scene you can rewatch over and over again, what is it?
Mm. That would probably wow. I need to change my martial because I just
Go
I
ahead.
just I just thought my favorite martial arts movie, which is this is probably my favorite movie, period, and I don't really consider it a martial arts movie because to me it had a lot more than just martial arts in it, but it was about martial arts, is, The Last Samurai with Tom Cruise.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
I
that's
absolutely love that movie. I've watched that movie probably 7 or 8 times, and I could cut it on right now and watch it and be glued to the TV during the entire
yeah.
thing.
It's a terrific all-around movie.
Right.
Yeah,
Tom
yeah.
Cruise really done a good job in that
Yeah,
movie.
and the cinematography's great, the plot's great, and
Yeah, yeah.
it's a martial art movie in the sense of it's really passing on the virtues, the Bushido code,
Right. Yeah, and a
and
lot of things that they discuss in that movie, and what they teach and stuff like that, and their way of life is exactly what we teach in our
Yeah.
style of karate.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. So
But
so I can see it. It's a hard. I think someone can say it's a martial art movie, but I think someone can say it's a historical drama with martial arts in it, and
mhm,
either way it works.
yeah.
Yeah. But
When
back
you
to
asked me what my favorite
fight
fight
scene
scene
is. Yeah.
was, that's what brought this on because my two favorite fight scenes in martial arts is either the one where Tom Cruise saves what's the head samurai of the
Oh,
village?
played by I can't remember his name in the movie.
Yeah.
It's played by Ken Wanatabe or whatever, something like that. The
Yeah.
actor's name. Yeah.
And Tom Cruise is sitting there and he sees the ninja come up on the
Come up.
roof, and one of them pulls back with a bow like that, and he yells at him
Yeah.
because he's up on stage with a girl, because they have like a little
Play
skit
going
that
on.
they're doing.
Yeah.
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 It's either that whole fight scene starting right there, or the fight scene in the octagon. When
Oh,
Chuck Norris, the big blowout fight
fight
scene of the
scene.
octagon,
Octagon.
right at near the end of that one.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a terrific one. The minute he gets trapped and he gets put in that maze all the way till has the last fight is terrific in the
Yeah.
octagon.
Yeah.
Right. That whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's terrific. Yeah. And especially when he fights Richard Norton, who's playing the ninja who's all
Yeah.
dressed up. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's a terrific fight scene.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it'd have to be one of those two fight scenes.
Okay.
That's my favorite.
Yeah. Now what's your favorite fight scene in a non martial art movie? If you ever
Holy
watched a
crap.
non-martial where you go like, wow, that was a great fight scene. That one got me going.
Wow. But it doesn't necessarily have to be martial arts.
No, it doesn't have to necessarily be martial
Good
arts.
fight scene.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Man, that's hard. There's a lot of good ones out there.
Yeah.
Gosh, I would have to come back on that one.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll come back on that one.
There's so many good. I mean, just some really,
Well,
really good
yeah.
knockdown, drag out fight
Yeah.
scenes.
And if you can only limit it to 2 or 3, I understand.
Yeah.
I put you on the spot because I think the people who watch would enjoy this episode knowing more about you and your martial art history. Yeah, it's because there's some I have that I can watch. I can't maybe even like the whole movie, or just movie's not. But that fight scene, you go, yeah, that's terrific. Right there is terrific. Yeah,
Yeah.
I got that. So this one I'm gonna put at the top 3, and give you 3 of them to pick from. Who do you think are the 3 best fighters? It can be full contact, kickboxing, boxing, BJJ wrestling, point tournament. Who do you think are the 3 best fighters of all time? It can be of any type of fighting genre, mixed martial arts, whatever.
Well, I think Joe Louis was a really, really good fighter, and of course, I really like Joe Louis. And I've had the pleasure of testing with him before. So I like his, but I also I think Muhammad Ali was a really, really good fighter, smart fighter.
Yeah.
Smarter than he was. I think smarter than he was good, but it would be a toss up between him and Sugar Ray Leonard as my favorite boxer because Sugar Ray Leonard was he was small.
Yeah.
He wasn't that big. He wasn't heavyweight like Muhammad Ali, but good gosh, it was lightning quick.
Yeah, he was.
I mean, lightning quick.
Yeah.
I'll leave it at those 3 right now.
Right there? Yeah.
But the more I think about it, I'm sure I'm going to come up with something else. I'm not a big MMA fan. I've watched a lot of their fights and stuff. I like Chuck Liddell. I used to love to watch Chuck Liddell fight. Have you ever seen Tank Abbott?
Yes. Yeah.
Back when the old
MMA.
MMA.
Old MMA. Yeah.
Yeah, when it was really, really tough.
Yeah.
I used to love to watch him fight. And a lot of people's probably going to be surprised by this, but what's the skinny Irish guy's name?
Conor McGregor.
MMA? Conor McGregor. I like to watch Conor McGregor fight. He's a little cocky.
Yeah.
Don't like that, but man, he's a good fighter.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he can back it up usually too.
Yeah. Conor McGregor, when he fought at his prime, when he was really training hard,
Yeah.
And he understands the concepts of karate because
Yeah.
he was asked when he knocked out Josie Aldo, and I thought it'd be a tougher fight than it ended up being. I didn't know who would win, but I thought it'd be a tougher fight. And he clipped Josie Aldo, I think within the first minute, minute and a half on the
Mm-hmm.
chin, and I saw it live, not in person, but live on pay per view. And afterwards, he gave the karate answer. The person, I don't know if it was Joe Rogan or someone else, asked me. He said,
Mm-hmm.
"No, what wins fights when you strike is timing and precision." And he's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
That's the karate answer. It's timing and
Yeah.
precision
Yeah.
is what does it. It's not power and speed. Those things are
Yeah.
helpful, but without timing and
Oh, yeah.
precision, they're meaningless.
Yep.
And he
Absolutely.
said, I didn't hit him that hard. It's timing and precision. And that's understanding how fighting really works, and especially in karate. And I don't know what his karate level is, but you can tell he's had some really good karate
Yeah.
training.
Yeah, because he throws kicks.
Kicks.
Not a whole lot, but
No,
he'll throw kicks.
he'll throw kicks, and
Yeah.
he's good at
Who is
setting
it
up.
that practices Shotokan? Is it Machado?
Yeah, Leota Machida.
Yeah, Machida.
Yeah,
That's
Machida.
it.
Yeah.
Practice Shotokan. I like to watch him fight too.
Yeah, I like to watch him fight. Yeah, he had really good distance. Yeah.
But he's got a lot of good Japanese discipline.
Discipline, right?
Too.
Yeah, and he knows how to.
He came up as a Shotokan practitioner.
Right.
I think his father. I think he took from his father for years and years.
You're right. That's what he did. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. He took from his father for many, many years, and then got into MMA, and he ended up getting the was it the middleweight? I think the middleweight championship in it.
Yeah.
Or light heavy, one of the two. I have to look that back up. But I remember watching all his fights, and I remember when he got the championship fight against Rashad Evans. Actually, I still have that on DVD.
Yeah.
I liked it so much because a lot of people put karate out because there weren't many karate fighters in MMA at the time, and the few who came up when it was in the beginning weren't really. I mean, we watch them go like, well, they're not really good fighters.
Yeah.
Come on,
Yeah.
And but he brought it back and took out Rashad Evans in the second round. I mean, it was it was a mess, and then a lot of other people forget the base of many other people, like George St. Pierre. His base is karate. Yeah, he wrestles, boxes, and does BJJ, but his first black belt is in Kyokushin karate, and he mentions that. Hey,
oh, really?
Yeah,
he
he tells people, he says, my base is karate, and he says, and that's what helps me win, is that because of the distance. I understand distance better than anybody else, and that's karate.
Yeah.
And karate is about understanding your distance, and precision, and timing.
Yep. Absolutely.
Yep.
Yep.
And
I'll tell you, talking about all these knockouts, while you were talking about all these knockouts, I got a video. I'm not sure if we've ever watched it when you've come to visit or not, but we need to put this on our list. It's called 100 best knockouts.
Oh, really?
And it talks about kickboxing, MMA, boxing, all kinds of stuff. I mean, it's got them all in there, and it starts at 100 and comes down to the number one best knockout.
Oh, we'll have to watch that. That'd be fun.
If you like fighting, because that's all it is. I doubt that it spends probably the one that it spends probably the most time on might be a minute and a few seconds.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's just an entire video of 100 best documented knockouts.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
And you'll see some crazy good stuff.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, lucky shots too.
Yeah. Sometimes that's what happens. And, and I love watching fights even to this day. Especially like when I've had injuries and I couldn't train as hard as I wanted to.
Mm-hmm.
I have a lot of competition DVDs because there was a time before. Now I don't have it. I don't buy that many anymore because with YouTube, some of the fights I used to buy from Japan, like the full contact fights, after you'd have to order the DVD, and 5-6 months later you got it, and it was $50-$60 for the DVD back then. Well, now these same organizations put them up for free on YouTube. I just got to go ahead and either if I want to watch it live, be up at 2 in the morning because it's in Japan, or 10 in the morning, or 8 at night because wherever it is in the world, or I just watch it because it goes in my history and my subscription, and then I just watch it then. And I used to have to buy the DVDs for those things because I love watching fights, and I think it's because being a competitor, I learn when I watch a fight, I enjoy it, but I'm also not overly loud like a lot of people. I'm analyzing the participants.
That's the same way I am.
Yeah, I'm analyzing the participants. Even if I'm rooting for one, the minute they're in the ring, I'm
Mm.
analyzing, and I'm also telling him what he
Yeah.
needs to do. And if the other one starts doing better, I may be rooting
I'm
for this
trying to
guy
learn a
here.
lesson.
But I'm looking at
Yeah.
what's going on,
Yeah.
and like, oh, and I can admire it, even if I wanted that guy to lose, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
And
Yeah.
so so to me, the fight game is much different than for a lot of people who just watch it and get into the fights.
Hmm.
It's one reason why I never, even if a fight is boring, I may not like it, I just sit through it, but I never boo.
Mm.
Who the only people who boo, in my view, maybe I'm wrong, are the people who've never been on the mat or in the ring.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the guts it takes to get on there, even if they're having a bad outcome and they're not doing very
Yeah.
well that day,
Yeah.
because sometimes nerves get the better of you, or just you can't
Hmm.
problem solve the guy,
Yeah.
and you don't know what to do. But I hate it when I go to a live fight or I see it on pay-per-view or live or whatever, and then I start hearing the boos because the fight's too slow or this
Yeah.
is going on, and I'm
Yeah.
like,
You step your butt out there
you
one
step your
time.
butt out there, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
I've
a
been out
whole
there.
different world.
It's a whole different world, and been out there where I've done well, and I've been out there where
Yep.
I've done poor,
Yep.
and I've seen other
So have I.
people who should have done well and do poor. Sometimes it just gets the best of you, and sometimes some people, they're not meant for fighting, but they went out there anyway, and for that
Yeah.
I'm going to give them credit. They're not going to get a
Oh
boo.
yeah.
At the end of that
Yep.
fight, I'm going to stand up and clap for them,
Yep.
and
Hey,
hopefully cheer on them.
did you ever see back in the day the Sabaki challenge?
Oh yeah, I've
I
been
think
to the
it was
Sabaki
held in
Challenge
Denver.
live. Yes, I've been
You
there
have?
live.
You saw it live?
I've seen it several times live. Yes, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I would love to see it live
yeah.
one
Matter
time.
of fact, they've got fights this Saturday. I even if I don't go, I always look when they got their fights. Isn't that funny?
Yeah.
Yeah, they got fights this Saturday. They did due to COVID. They ended up taking a couple 3 years off,
Hmm.
and then I'll tell you offline another reason why they took off. But I don't want to embarrass the Nanomiya family
Hmm.
with what I have. I mean, I don't know if they'd be embarrassed or not, but I could see where they would be, and I don't want to do that to them.
Yeah.
So when we shut it, I'll tell you, and then you can go, oh, okay. But they took a few years off, but I've gone to it live before, and
It's out in Denver, right?
it's out in Denver. It started in 1989, I believe,
Yeah.
and I went to it live for the first
Uh,
time.
I went to the Philippines in '89, and I think it started before I went to the
It
Philippines.
might have started. I know it was in the 80s.
It was, yeah, and I think it was probably in the late '80s,
Yeah,
maybe,
87,
maybe
maybe
80,
86, 80.
yeah,
Yeah,
87, 88 or something.
Yeah, and then I know, and then they've had it almost every year. COVID knocked it out, and then they were really when it first came out in the mid '90s, it was real prominent. It was
Hmm.
a very, very, very prominent uh, martial art tournament. I mean, it's held in big arenas like the Nichols Arena,
Oh yeah.
and then now. Started in the late '90s, and I think in the last 20 years, a lot of that needs to do with the advent of MMA.
Hmm.
The venues started to be much smaller.
Yeah.
And the last time I went to it, this is in 2015 or 16. It was the last one I attended, and
Did
the
you go to
venue.
Denver?
Yes, they've all in Denver. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Now they do have some in Japan and Europe, but those are people who are qualifying, like they're going to be fighting in Denver.
Oh, okay. I got you.
If that makes any sense, yeah. But
Yeah.
the main annual one is in Denver, and then after,
That's what we should do sometime.
oh
Get
yeah, it'd be
together and
fun.
go to Sabaki
Sabaki
Challenge.
Challenge, yeah, yeah, and
Fly into Denver and meet each other and go to the Sabaki
Bike
Challenge.
Challenge, right? And I've got good friends there who like Brian Beck. He's also a motorcycle rider. He's got 3 motorcycles, and we served together in at Dias. And every time I've gone, he holds me up in his place, and I take him with me for holding me up. Come on, I got your ticket. He doesn't know
Yeah.
martial arts, but he loves fights. So we got
Yeah.
a free place to stay, and we can stay with him, and
Yeah.
I'll buy his ticket, and we're good to go. And
That'd be fun.
yeah, but it's fun to watch a lot. It's more I have some DVDs. I have a lot of DVDs of their stuff, and I used to get on VHS tape back in those days. But live, it's much more fun. Now I will say that the last one I went to uh, wasn't quite as big as the previous ones.
Mhm.
But I know after that one they expanded, and I think this is just my guess. I think they were kind of embarrassed of that one themselves. The fights didn't really turn out all that great, and it was
Mhm.
not many people came out because that one never got a DVD.
Yeah. I remember when you could order VHS tapes of the Sabaki Challenge
Hmm.
after the fights was over with out of Black Belt magazine.
Oh, really? Oh,
Yeah,
wow. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, that's cool.
it
Yeah,
was.
I used to get them from the from the school itself, and they used to sell gear too. I mean, tote bags and pads and
Oh, really?
stuff
I
like that.
didn't know that.
Yeah, yeah, I had one of their Incheon tote bags because it was a good tote bag. I thought, oh, that's a neat
Mhm.
tote bag to carry all my stuff in, and they but they all forearm pads, and you could order their tapes. I never ordered their tapes. I did
Yeah.
order their book. Let me find it here. I'll take a picture of it and put it up. Nanomiya's Sabaki Challenge textbook,
Mhm.
and I'd ordered that when it came out, and I've talked on the phone a couple times to a couple of them 20 something years ago and stuff.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was it's and they're still doing like this. The 23rd is this. Oh, wait a minute, the 23rd passed. It was this past Saturday. Yeah, they had it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah.
They have it in May every year?
No, it changes April or May,
Oh,
and
okay.
is when they have it. Yeah, it's usually is when they have it. Yeah, I don't know how they decide that, but it's either in April or May. Yeah, and
Well,
one
that would be a
time, yeah,
good birthday gift we could give to each
get
other.
to each other. Yeah, go
Yeah,
meet up
we
there.
could
Yeah,
go meet in Denver and watch a Sabaki Challenge.
watch Sabaki Challenge. Yeah, and it's fun, and then enjoy the rest of that area.
Yeah,
And yeah, and it's fun to see live, especially the women fights are a blast to
yeah.
see live. Yeah, they're
Oh,
a
I'll
blast to
bet.
see live. Yeah,
Yeah,
and I've been to a few. Of course, being in the military or being just life in general, doing the things you couldn't always go. But when I've had the
yeah,
opportunity, I've gone to a few of them, and it's a blast. But the mid '90s, early mid '90s was really their heyday. That
yeah.
was really their big heyday. Yeah, was the Sabaki Challenge. Yeah. Do you ever have a favorite uh, competition fight, or maybe two or three that you've watched on film or anything else? This is a great lead up mention to Sabaki, because this is one of my questions that you just remember what it was like to be live. Not, I mean, it could be live, could be on TV, or it could be in person. And it doesn't have to be something famous that you just saw that you go, wow, that was a fight. And it could be any type of
Uh,
competition, point tournament, full contact, anything that you just saw. Wow, that was worth it.
no, no,
No,
not really.
not really.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I mean, I like fights, different kinds and stuff like that. But I mean, there's not really anything that stands out that is any greater than the other.
right.
Now I've seen some really, really good ones,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
both professionally and amateur.
yeah. That's why I threw an
Um,
amateur, because sometimes an amateur
yeah,
fight you go like, wow, that was.
they're better than the professionals
Sometimes,
sometimes.
yeah, sometimes they
Yeah,
just go, wow, yeah,
but I don't know if I have a favorite one
yeah,
or anything.
yeah. Sometimes it's really hard. I have like
Yeah.
three. If you remember to ask me next week, maybe you won't. That I have, but and one of them
Well,
people,
spill your guts.
huh?
Spill your guts.
Well, my number one fight is a boxing match, and it's Hagler versus Hearns. That 3 rounds is just amazing.
Yeah,
I mean, you're thinking someone's going to end up dead the way that fight's
yeah,
going,
yeah,
and
yeah. They were swapping some licks.
yeah, they started from ding ding, and they went at it.
Oh yeah,
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 and I just look at that fight. I'm just like, for the love of Pete, I hope they survive it.
yeah,
And I remember watching that one at my friend's house on cable, and was just amazed, like, because it was live, and I was just like, you got to be kidding me.
oh yeah,
Yeah, I hope they both live. To me, it was pretty apparent by the second round that Hagler was going to win this fight, and I just wanted Thomas Hearns not to end up dead.
mm,
And yeah, out of my three. That's probably my top one.
yeah,
And every once in a while, I can put it on even this day, and I watch it like, oh, I hope he doesn't end up dead. It's just so visceral to me, just like,
yeah,
oh no. Yeah, just amazing. And it's funny because out of martial sports are concerned, I prefer kickboxing and full contact over boxing. But
oh
something
yeah.
about,
Me too.
but something about there's some of those boxers or boxing matches you just go like, you can't help the warriorship that's coming out of there. That you just go,
Oh
my word, man. You
yeah.
know,
As a matter of fact, when it comes to MMA,
yeah,
um, I guess the biggest turnoff for me in MMA, and it's an art, and I totally understand the concept of it. I just don't like for them to get to where, and the Gracies were notorious for this. They just wrap somebody up and they go to the mat and they just lay in a hole
Yeah.
for like 2 or 3 minutes, and they're trying to get out of it, and I don't like that about the MMA.
Right. Yeah.
I like MMA style fighting better, where they just meet in the center of the ring and just wear each other
Oh,
out.
yeah. Yeah.
Now, if
Yeah.
you can submit somebody, if you can throw them down and submit them, throw them down and submit them. I don't have an issue with that. But, I have actually seen MMA matches more so from the Gracies, where, the bell will ring, they'll go out there, and immediately, probably within 3 to 5 seconds, they're already on the ground, and they're just laying on the ground, trying. One of them's got one of them in a hole, the other one's trying to figure out how to get out of it. And that's
Yeah.
all they do for like 2 or 3 minutes. Boring as crap. I
Yeah.
hate that.
Yeah. It's kind of funny. I'm similar in a way, but maybe not quite like that. I don't mind if they go to the ground and they're actively going at it. But if they what I
Yeah.
call
Yeah.
what I call lay and pray,
Yeah.
that is just like, oh, when they're just making very little advances, very
Yeah.
little work. And I guess a perfect example is the second, or I think it's the second fight with Ken Shamrock and Hoist Gracie,
Yeah.
UFC 4 or 5.
Yeah.
They went 30 minutes. They finally stood them up, made them go another 10, and then they just had
Yep.
40 minutes, called it a draw. All they both did was lay and pray.
Yep. I
And
remember that.
yep, and I just thought, thanks for
I
taking
remember
my money.
thinking that is a total waste of money.
Yeah, thanks for taking my money.
Yeah.
All the other fights, and that was the first super fight they were doing or whatever. But they just laid
Yeah.
and prayed. If
Yeah.
they're actively working that ground, I can enjoy that and take it
Yeah.
for what it is. I'm karate is me. I'm a striker. Now I did wrestle a little bit in school, but I was average at best.
Yeah.
And so when I wrestled in junior high, I liked it, but karate's me. That's my personality outgrowth.
Yeah.
But I enjoy and admire all of the martial arts when somebody is but when they just lay and pray, oh,
Yeah.
gosh darn.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And I'll be honest, I take great pride when someone's laying and praying and trying to get the other person tired, and then that person breaks out of that and then stands them back up and clocks them.
Yeah.
And you see
Yeah.
that now. As fighters got more sophisticated and they learn how to defend against BJJ, you see a lot of that now.
Oh,
Okay,
yeah.
I'm gonna get back up out of this, and when I do, I'm
Yeah.
gonna clock you for it. I'll be honest, if they're just laying and praying, I can't wait for that guy to clock the guy who's
Yeah.
enforcing the laying and praying, because the other guy usually
Right.
is trying to get out of it. Usually, now in the
Yeah.
case of Shamrock and Gracie, I think they both were just laying and praying, and that was just like,
Oh, yeah.
that bored
Yeah.
me. Yeah.
Speaking of MMA, did you see the Ronda Rousey fight?
No, I did not, and I tell you what, I got rid of my Netflix.
17 seconds.
Yeah, I read that, and I got rid of my Netflix subscription many months ago over some other things that I thought, I just don't know if I want to support this. Plus, I went ahead and got a subscription to something else because I wanted to watch something,
Yeah.
and I just didn't watch enough of it. And I thought about getting it back to watch the fight, and I thought,
Be glad you did.
right, I thought, the undercard that I read was going up was not that impressive to me, and I thought I don't want to get it, for one fight that may not be as good as people are hoping for.
Mhm.
Gina Carano hadn't fought in 17 years.
Yeah.
I don't care. You go 17 years without fighting.
You can still work in the gym. You can do whatever you want to, but if you go, like you said, in my opinion, if you go a year
Right.
without some good fighting and
Right.
stuff like that, you're starting to lose skills.
Right. And my view is that the grappler will always have the advantage if both people have had a long layoff.
Mhm.
The grappler has the advantage because the precision and coordination of striking, even if it's just your hands, is so much greater than the coordination it takes to go on the ground and,
Oh, yeah.
and pin or submit. So my worry is that nothing against Ronda, but my worry was, okay, they're going to get there. She's going to go right to the ground because that's where she's comfortable. She's tried to punch before and it has not worked out with her. When she went against Amanda Nunes and Holly Holmes, she tried to strike with them and it did not go well for her.
Yeah. Holly Holmes whipped her.
Whipped
butt.
her, yeah, she whipped her butt. And so I thought she's going to go to the ground, be it safe. And
Yeah.
Gina has been out of fighting too long to be able to avoid the takedown.
Well, and another thing about it is too, and you and I have been in this position before. Rhonda and Gina are really good friends,
Okay.
and it reminds me a lot of you and I.
Right.
Rhonda and Gina are good friends, and I've even heard people talk about this since this fight. They're like, well, they were two friends and it was planned out to happen this way, just, making some money
Yeah.
and stuff like that, you know. And I'm not going to say that it didn't, but heck, when you and I fought, I mean, we were as good of friends as what
Yeah.
almost as good of friends as what we are now.
Now. Yeah.
And we literally beat the living crap
Yeah.
out of each
Yeah.
other.
Well, you beat me up. I think we're better friends than
No,
Rhonda and
no,
Gina
brother.
Carano.
We literally, I've got pictures. As a matter of fact, maybe next week if I'll dig these pictures out because I got pictures of us
Yeah.
standing, and both of us has got bruises all over us,
Yeah.
and I think there's some blood in that picture, those pictures too.
I don't remember. I barely remember the event now.
Yeah.
You know.
But I can see both sides of that, and they are friends. I
Yeah.
mean, you know,
Yeah.
and
And
maybe they did plan it to, hey, let's do this quick and or something like that, just so
yeah.
we can make the purse because they were getting paid the same regardless.
Regards, right.
From
And
what
both
I
ladies got to
understand.
be in their late 30s, I think, or early 40s, right?
Yeah,
Something
and
like that.
I've always liked Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
I've always loved her attitude.
Yeah.
When it comes to going in there and fighting, because she could get, and she's not so much like this anymore, but she could get laser focused on what was at hand
Right.
and go in there and take care of business.
Yeah.
But I just don't know. This just seemed a little strange to me, this one.
Yeah.
And I didn't pay for it. Don't get me wrong, I
Yeah.
didn't pay for it. And I'm glad I didn't.
Yeah.
But because I've watched it on Facebook, I don't know how many times, 17 seconds worth. So,
Yeah, I just had a feeling, and I thought, it's probably not going to go well. And the undercard didn't impress me. And I've done that before, where I've gotten fights, especially in the boxing world in the '90s when it really started to go south for me for boxing. And you go off the main card, and then you're like, man, they robbed me again. And the undercard wasn't that good. And so now when I do get I haven't gotten a boxing event in a long time, or a kickboxing event. But when I would, I'd start looking, is that undercard good too?
yeah.
Because I don't want to just be one boring fight after the other at the main event. Because then I can say, well, it was still worth my $50 or whatever it was, because I had 3 good fights out of 5 or whatever it was, And,
Any kind of fighting, I look at the undercard.
Yeah, yeah. I want
And
to.
if I don't think that it's any good,
Yeah.
I won't purchase it.
No, I'll read.
And really, you don't have to because, I mean, in today's day and age, only thing you got to do is wait a day or two, and it's going to be all over.
Oh yeah,
Social media.
yeah.
And you
You'll
can
see.
watch whatever you want to.
You can watch whatever you want
Probably
to.
going to be on YouTube.
It'll be on YouTube. Yeah, at some level, somebody will get it on there, even if there's rights
Oh yeah.
restricted. It'll still get on there somehow, and you can watch it.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I was glad. I will say this though. I'm glad they both got paid. I had read
Yeah.
on MMA Junkie what they had made, and I think they both deserve to be paid because when they first started, especially Gina, when she 1st started, she wasn't making much money with Strikeforce doing that stuff.
Yeah.
Rhonda always got paid pretty well when she
Yeah.
got to UFC, but Gina Carano didn't. And I was glad that she got a good payday out of this. I don't know her. I've never met her. I have heard she's just a really neat person, Gina Carano.
Who's that?
Gina Carano, who
Yeah.
fought around. I heard she's a really neat person.
I've
And
seen interviews with her, and she seems very humble and very nice.
yeah,
She almost seems maybe too nice to be an MMA
good
fighter.
Yeah, yeah.
You know,
I've
She's not
talked.
arrogant.
She's
Not
not
that I
arrogant.
Not the ones that I've seen anyway. She may be, but
No, the
all the
people
interviews I've seen, she wasn't.
the people I know who've met her has said she's extremely nice and charming and humble and nice to people and very, very kind of a yes ma'am, no sir type of way she talks to
Yeah.
people and very, very good and good hearted is what I've only heard good things about her, about her in every way. So I was glad to see she got paid finally. Because she was a pioneer, and so was Rhonda, and a lot of women don't understand if it wasn't for Gina Carano. I think first because we forget she was really the big name before even Rhonda, and then Rhonda came along. We got so popular, UFC finally decided to put it on there, and if it wasn't for them, these women don't understand that you might not have women's MMA.
Oh yeah.
If it wasn't for those two,
Yeah.
so you need to be thankful for that. Yeah, yeah. Uh, yeah. So my last question for you, to get back to the questions because it's your birthday, just for people to know, if you have, and I'll let you put anybody on here you want to put on here, whether people know them or not. So, uh, but not your students. You wouldn't want to put us on there anyways. If if you were making your own Mount Rushmore of martial artists, what
Oh my
four
God.
people would you put on that Mount Rushmore?
Honestly, for me, since Mount Rushmore is such a big deal, it would have to be four of my instructors because
Okay.
of my loyalty and my admiration. And to be quite honest with you, if it wasn't for my instructors passing it on, I couldn't be where I'm at. My students couldn't be where they're at, and and so forth and so on down the line.
Yeah.
So it would have to be four of my instructors, and the first one, obviously, that I think of is David Ray, Hunchy David Ray. Because he, as my childhood instructor, he was the one that set me on the correct martial arts path.
Mm,
So if I don't put my students on there, it would have to be for my instructors.
yeah.
David Ray, Sensei Chuck Taylor, um, probably Hunchy Bill Daniels. Mm, that's tough because you never want to put one in
No,
front of the
you
other.
don't. I'll let you go to five if you need to. You can create your own Mount Rushmore.
Oh my gosh. Boy, that is tough. Maybe Sensei Ernest Watkins.
Okay.
Because even though I got my uh, Taekwondo belt from him and American Karate black belt from him, he still done a whole lot for me. He really did
Yeah. Yeah.
at that time. And I look back of who I owe things to,
Yeah.
and you know, um, David Ray, Chuck Taylor, Bill Daniels have to be at the top of that list. And I know what's going to happen after this is over with. That question is going to be piercing in my brain.
Right.
And I'm going to be like, my gosh, I can't believe I forgot about this one, or I
Right.
can't believe I forgot about that one,
Right.
or something
Well, the
like
good thing
that.
is that you can always pay them some sort of honor in another video when we have a podcast and
Yeah.
talk about them. Now
Yeah.
this time, four martial arts celebrities. They could either have been fighters, movie stars, uh, popular promoters. What four would you put on Mount Rushmore who are on that celebrity level?
Well, obviously, one of them have to be Bill Wallace because I really think Bill Wallace is really, really, really good. I
Right.
do. And he's such a good friend. So I would have to have him up there. Joe Lewis obviously would be up there. I don't know whether you would list him as a celebrity though.
Well, he did do a
If you're
couple
in the Joe
movies.
Lewis, if you're in the Joe Lewis fighting system, you know who he is. But
Yeah.
and if you're from North Carolina, you would know who he is. But outside of that, I mean, not he wasn't really that well known.
Yeah. He had a couple movies. They flopped. Uh,
Yeah, his movies
yeah,
weren't
yeah,
all that.
they kind of flopped, yeah.
Yeah.
And but I would say yeah he goes because he was so
You
big for the
think you
American
think
karate scene.
yeah,
Yeah, so
yeah,
I say that's a good one.
maybe. And Chuck Norris,
Yeah,
obviously.
yeah,
I mean, you'd have to put Chuck Norris up there, and you'd have to put Bruce Lee up there.
yeah,
You'd have to. And I'm a huge Steven Seagal fan. He's fat, he's out of shape,
yeah,
and I think he's full of crap these days. He's gotten old and gotten like he's not gotten as nowhere near as bad as Dillman is, but I think he's still a badass.
right, yeah,
You know,
yeah,
um,
yeah,
and I like Seagal, but when you say celebrities and Mount Rushmore is a major thing, and you're
right.
talking about the best of the best up
Best,
there,
right.
it'll definitely have to be Wallace, Lee, Norris,
And Lewis.
and probably Lewis. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, I think those are all really good picks. Yeah, I would agree about the other ones are
Now,
iconic in
do
themselves,
I
but
think they're the best martial artists out there? No.
well, no, yeah, but being much
Yeah, I
Mount
think
Rushmore is different.
Kanazawa was one of the best there is.
Is yeah, yeah,
And the Japanese Well, he actually left JKA and went to ISK, but man, even JKA and ISK lost. They lost a lot when he passed away. Probably
What?
been 7 years ago, I
Maybe
guess.
I can't remember. Yeah, I remember when
Yeah,
it came out. It was a few
yeah,
years ago. Yeah,
yeah.
yeah,
But
yeah,
he's, I think, good gosh, was he good?
yeah,
And he done so much for Japanese martial arts,
yeah.
so much.
So much.
I
Yeah,
mean, I could only imagine how proud that Funakoshi is
of him. Right.
of him.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
so
Yeah, I know it's funny, but these questions were meant to kind of pin it down and put you on the spot a little bit for
yeah,
people to see. So it's kind of unfair,
they
but
sure are.
yeah. But anyways, I thought it'd be a great way for people just to get to know you and what you've done since it's your birthday, and what you've done for the
Past
martial arts,
birthday,
huh?
past birthday. You keep
Well,
forgetting it.
yeah,
That
it
was
was Saturday, wasn't it? Was it Saturday?
yesterday.
Yesterday. Oh, that's right.
Sunday.
That's right. I
Nicole's
got my days
birthday
off,
was
but it was
Saturday.
meant.
Mine
But
was
this
yesterday.
podcast was supposed to be on your birthday.
Right,
That's
right.
right. We're on what day we have today? The 25th.
We're on 25th right now.
Okay,
Barrett's
yeah, yeah,
birthday is on
yeah.
24th.
See, but this was supposed to happen yesterday. That's why I
Yeah.
said, yeah, I had on the text when he says, "Hey, we need to change it." I'm like, I had something planned.
But hey, you know, just hang on for 1 second. Yours is coming up day after tomorrow on the 27th.
Right.
So everybody out there, that watch their YouTube, wish Hanshi Herfer their happy birthday and tune in next week because I'm going to get him next week. Trust me. This gives me an entire week, I think, of some stuff to put you on the spot with. So it's coming. All in good fun, but it's
It's
coming.
coming. Okay, good. Well, I hope you forget about it. And wait a minute, I do a podcast. I don't know. I didn't know. I didn't know I
Yeah,
did a podcast.
yeah, uh-huh.
Yeah, no, but yeah, that's why it was supposed to be yesterday because that was the whole thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, and then we got to move to today. So I'm kind of considering this is the happy birthday.
And
But
by the way, we do these podcasts, and then what is it, like a day or two before they're actually
yeah,
released?
it takes me, and one day we'll have to do one live. I think I've
Yeah.
learned how we can do it live and do it well. But
I
the
also think we're going to have to get some more people on here
well, yeah, I think so
and
too.
interview some people.
I
Yeah.
I thought something we can interview, and I thought maybe we can do one with some of our female Keto Kimeru black belts might be a good
That's
one.
what I need to work on because we talked about that, and I said I was going to work on that, trying to get Shihan and both at
Right.
Sensei Carr and Sensei Kato to
Yeah.
maybe get them come in on a Zoom call
Right.
and
Yeah.
talk to them.
It'd be fun, and also we were gonna do Tom and Augie because they got their
Right.
black belts, but I got really sick, and
Yeah.
so we had to abandon that one. 105-degree temperature. I was in no shape to be interviewing
No,
anybody.
no.
And I
You have
still,
one foot on the grave. You have 1 foot in the grave and one on a banana pillow.
it was pretty stupid of me. I look back now and I should have gotten the medicine right away, and I probably would have pushed through it, but it wouldn't have been has gotten as bad as it did.
Yeah.
I was still my last fever was last Wednesday, even though I'd go in and out of the clear, and then last Wednesday was my last fever, so I've not had a fever since Wednesday night. But I mean that was a week and a half of fevers off and on,
Yeah.
and I'd go through 2 days of feeling good, and then boom, it hit me again. And finally, it's like, okay, things are getting. The only thing is I have now is I have a tendency, like I can sit in the chair and like my eyes will just close. It's just
That's called old man syndrome.
yeah. Well, I'm almost. I'll be there. I'm ready to collect Social Security in 2 days. So I'm getting there. Well, brother, it was great. Thank you for indulging me. I want to say happy birthday again to you. And
Thank
this
you.
is how I
And
want
happy
to.
birthday to you coming up.
Well, thank you. This is how I wanted to end it. So here you go. Happy birthday to
Oh,
you.
Lord, spare
Happy
me, please.
birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Soke Poo. Happy birthday to you.
It's a good thing that you're a martial artist and you've retired from military because you blew it. There's no way you could be a singer, brother. You can be a good entertainer, but not
Not
a
a
singer.
singer.
maybe a comedian.
I don't know about that, but anyways, happy birthday! All the best, and yeah, I'll try to get this posted within the next day or two and get it up
Yeah.
there. So, all right, say hi to
Awesome.
Shihan for me, and thank you so
Oh,
much.
all right. Thanks, brother. I
All
appreciate it.
right, bye bye.
Bye.